Krishna Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Krishna.
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण dear devotees. So today is Monday. It is 30th of September and Ashwini Masa or Padmanabha Masa and Krishna Paksham Trayodasi Tithi. So there are no Vaishnava events in the calendar. So we shall quickly move into Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, so Lord Brahma speaking to Narada Muni. So Narada Muni inquired so many questions in the beginning. He wanted to know who is behind Brahma, who is the source of all the opulences for this entire creation, why Brahma is meditating and everything. And then later on, Brahma answering to Narada Muni started speaking about I am not the Supreme Lord, O Narada. So there is Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and from whom all this Karnadapsai Vishnu, Garbhodapsai Vishnu, and all he explained all the incarnations and then glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the process of devotional service and the devotees. The list of some of the devotees have been listed by Brahma, and also the whoever takes the process of devotional service, and they do not have to go through different kinds of meditations or controlling the senses, but by engaging themselves directly in the devotional service, they would attain the perfection of human life. Likewise, Brahma, he was mentioning yesterday, Sadragniyam yatayo yamakatta hetim jahyuhu swaradiva nipana kanitramindraha. Just like Indra, who is giving the reins to all the living entities. So he does not have to go for hard struggle to dig a well for the sake of water. Likewise, a devotee who is engaged in the devotional service of the Lord, he does not have to go through different mental speculations or controlling the senses like that. So he has already achieved the perfection of human life. So saying that after Brahma is further saying, describing what kind of activities, either it is material or spiritual, everything will be auspicious. Everything will be auspicious. And because this auspiciousness exists and with the living entity, even though the material body falls down, even though it gets destroyed, but the soul, a person who attained that spiritual body, he remains all the time with that spiritual in contact with the Supreme Lord, with all the auspicious forever, eternally. Just like the sky is existing within the body and outside the body. Either body lives or not, the sky always exists. Likewise, the living entity all the time it exists. Sanatana. So likewise, Brahma is saying about the activities of the living entity, either it is material or spiritual, both auspicious, and the living entity is eternal, he always exists, just like the sky exists within the body and outside the body. So we are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter 7, verse number 49. सश्रेयसामपि विभुः भगवान् यतो अस्य भावस्वभावविहितस्य सतः प्रसिद्धिः देहे स्वधातु विगमे अनुविशीर्यमाने व्योमेन तत्र पुरुषो न विसीर्यते जहम् सश्रेयसामपि विभुः सश्रेयसाम् अपि. So that person, a person, shreyasham, all auspiciousness, api, also vibhuhu, the master, Bhagavan, the supreme personality of Godhead, and yato asya, and because asya, of the living entity. So the supreme personality of Godhead, sasresamapi vibhuhu Bhagavan yeto asya, the supreme personality of Godhead, he is all auspicious. Why? Yeto asya, why? Because the living entity, bhava swabhava vihitasya satah prasiddhihi. Bhava is the natural mode. Swabhava is the one constitution. Either it's the one, what are the more natural modes of the kind of, if you wanted to have some kind of material benedictions, and Subhava by the spiritual constitution, by his own spiritual constitution, he has to attach with the Lord, engage himself. Bhava Subhava Vihitasya, when these performances are happened by the living entity, Sataha Prasiddhihi, all good work and ultimate success. Everything will be auspicious. Either it is material or spiritual. When we are dovetailing everything in Krishna, everything will be auspicious. Sataha prasiddhihi. Bhava subhav vihitasya sataha prasiddhihi. And then Brahma says, Dehe swadhatu vikame. He is giving how it would be. Dehe swadhatu vikame. And Dehe is the of the body. So swadhatu. Dhatu is the different material ingredients that are made up of, that are made, that are used to make this material body. Swadhatu, forming elements. Swadhatu vigame, and being vanquished. Once the material body is being vanquished, then anu visiryamani. Anu, after that, having given up this material body, Vyoma Tatra Purusho. Vyoma is the sky. Iva, just like that. Tatra Purusho. So the sky exists generally inside the body, which is body is made up of Swadhatu. And like the Vyoma, the sky exists inside the body, outside the body. Just like that. Purusho na visirya ajaha. Purusho, the living entity. Purusho, the living entity. Na visiryate. He is never vanquished. Ajaha, because he is due to being unborn. The living entity is always eternal, Ajaha. So likewise, Brahma is giving one analogy here. So when the living entity, he is dovetailing and acting in all his either material, spiritual activities, in dovetailing with the Lord, everything will be auspicious. And Brahma gives this analogy. So like the sky exists within the body and outside the body. Likewise, the Purusha, the living entity, he is never destroyed. So he is always exist. And the spiritual activities always exist. Likewise, he is giving one analogy. So sasreyasamapi vibhuhu bhagavan yeto asya bhav subhav vihitasya sataha prasiddhihi dehe sudatu vigame अनुविसीर्यमाने व्योमेव तत्र पुरुषो न विसीर्यते जः. So translation for this verse. The personality of Godhead is the supreme master of everything auspicious, because the results of whatever actions are performed by the living being in either the material or spiritual existence are awarded by the Lord. As such, he is the ultimate benefactor. Every individual living entity is unborn, and therefore, even after the annihilation of the material elementary body, the living entity exists, exactly like the air within the body. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So can I request any voluntary devotees to read this purport, please?
Hare Krishna, Guru, may I read?
Yes, Mataji, please.
The living entity is unborn and eternal, and as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 2.30, the living entity is not exhausted even though the material elementary body is vanquished. As long as the living entity is in material existence, actions performed by him are rewarded in the next life or even in the present life. Similarly, in his spiritual life, also actions are rewarded by the Lord by the five kinds of liberation. Even the impersonalist cannot achieve the desired merging into the existence of the Supreme without being favored by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 4.11 that the Lord awards similar results as one desired in one's present life. The living entities are given freedom to make their choice, and the Lord awards them accordingly. It is the duty of everyone, therefore, to worship devotee only the personality of Godhead to achieve his desired goal. The impersonalist, instead of speculating or meditating, can directly execute the routine devotional service of the Lord and thus easily obtain the desired goal. The devotees, however, are naturally inclined to become associates of the Lord and not merge in the spiritual existence, as conceived by the impersonalist. The devotees, therefore, following their constitutional instincts, achieve the desired goal of becoming servitor, friends, fathers, mothers, or conjugal lovers of the Lord. The devotional service of the Lord involves 9 transcendental processes, such as hearing and chanting. And by performing such easy and natural devotional service, the devotees achieve the highest perfectional result, far superior to merging into the existence of Brahman. The devotees are therefore never advised to indulge in speculating upon the nature of the Supreme or artificially meditating on the void. One should not, however, mistakenly think that after the inhalation of this present body, there is no body by which one can associate with the Lord face to face. The living entity is unborn. It is not that he is manifest with the certain of the material body. On the other hand, by the desire of the living entity. The evaluation of the material body is due to the desire of the living beings. According to the so from the spirit soul, the material body from the uh, generated from the living being. The material body develops so from the spirit soul. The material body comes into existence generated from the living force. Since the living being is eternal, he exists just like the air within the body. Air is within the without the body. Therefore, when the external covering the material body is vanquished, the living spark, like the air within the body, continues to exist. And by the direction of the Lord, because he is in ultimate benefactor, the living entity is at once awarded the necessary spiritual body, benefiting his association with the Lord in the manner of Sharupya, equal bodily features. Salvakya, equal facility to live on the same planet with the Lord. Sarasti, uh, equal possession of opulence like the Lord. And Samipya, equal association with the Lord. The Lord is so kind that even if a devotee of the Lord cannot fulfill the complete course of devotional service, unalloyed and uncontaminated by material association, he is given another chance in the next life by being awarded a birth in the family of a devotee or rich man, so that without being engaged in the struggle for material existence, the devotee can finish the remaining purification of his existence, and he thus immediately after relinquishing the present body, go back home, back to Godhead. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. In this connection, detailed information is available in uh, San, Bhagavad Sandarbha of Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhupada. Once achieving the spiritual existence, the devotee is eternally situated there, as already discussed in the previous verse. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you so much, Mataji. So here Prabhupada is starting from explaining in the purport that living entity is unborn and eternal, and as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 2.30. So this is so in beginning Krishna speak in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yapadam jata tadate antara praptihi dhira satrana muhyati. So likewise, so many, at least 15 to 20 slokas, number of slokas have been described just to stress the importance of this one, that living entity is eternal. Dehi nityam avjhoyam dehe sarvasya bharata tasma sarvani bhutani nattum sochitumadhasi. So the living entity, it is never be slain. So, and who dwells within this body, he is always exist. So we should not grieve for such kind of the destruction of the material body. And achyejhoyam akleshoyam adahyoyam achyejyoham, what is that one? Achyejyo achyejyam adahyam aklejyo ashosha evacha nityah sarvagatah tanuhu achaloyam sanatanaha. It is sanatanaha. So it is always exist. Abhyaktoyam achinchoyam avikaryoyam uchyate. So likewise, Krishna gives so many dimensions about the living entity. So it is always exist. When that living entity exists, it has to attain this eternal nature. It has to develop the eternal nature, which is devotional service. Then it will get the spiritual body to go back to the, it is befit to be living in the spiritual planets. So that's why, because it is not existed, it requires the eternal activity. Otherwise, if it takes, the material world is a temporary, and if he has got a temporary activities, just like I wanted to acquire money, I wanted to have this one and that one, different of temporary desires, then he has to come to this material world. That's why the chanting, there is no limit. Devotional service, there is no limit. The happiness, there is no limit. So we have to put up in that way. Then we will get eternal body to be befit in the, to live in the spiritual planets, which is unlimited happiness. Okay. So here Prabhupada is explaining, as long as the living entity is in the material existence, the actions performed by him are awarded in the next life or even the present life. Similarly, in his spiritual life also, actions are rewarded by the Lord by the 5 kinds of liberation. This is Salokya Sarishti, Samipya, Sarupya, Ekatvam, Apyuta. Dhimanam na gruhnanti vina mat sevanam janaha. My devotees, they never desire for these things, but still they award, they get according to their position. So if a devotee is, for example, here, when he is directly engaged in Krishna service, he is with Krishna, that means he is already in the planet. Saloki is there, Saristi is also there, Samipe is there, and everything is, all liberations are already there. That is the highest perfection of devotional service. So, and also, even for the impersonalist merging into the Brahma Jyoti also, it is Lord's favor only. This ye yatamam prapadyante tam tadaiva bhajamyaham mama vatmanu vartante manushaha parda sarvasaha. So just according to one's reciprocation, the Lord reciprocates. So the living entities are given freedom to make their choice, and the Lord awards them accordingly. And then, so it is the duty of everyone, therefore, to worship the devoutly only the personality of Godhead to achieve desired goal. So that is the desired goal. So what is desired? It is within our jurisdiction. We can desire whatever it is. We want it temporary or permanent. What is the relationship? Whether these are 5 kinds of rasas have been explained by Prabhupada. This is the servitors, Dasya, Sakya, and Vasalya, the fathers and mothers, and also this Madhurya, conjugal lovers of the Lord. So these are different instincts that one has to develop when we have got this material body. If it is a cats and dogs body, we cannot develop such kind of relations. We cannot perform the devotional service, change the consciousness. That is not possible in other living beings. Only human beings it is possible. So that is the devotional service of the Lord involves the 9 transcendental process. This is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Machanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. Only human can do it by developing by progressing the spiritual path. By performing such easy and natural devotional service, devotees achieve the highest perfectional results, far superior to merging into the existence of Brahman. Superior to merging into the existence, that is above the Saijumukti or Salokya, Sarishti, Samipya, Sarupya. So that's why we do not need artificially meditating or mental speculations. We do not need. So this is the devotional. It is automatically the highest perfectional stage, devotional service. And so later on, Prabhupada is explaining about annihilation of the material body. Living entities unborn. This is tada purusham atmanam kevalam prakruteh param nirantaram swayam jyotihi animanam akanditam nirantaram swayam jyotihi. It is always eternal. Nirantaram swayam jyotihi is the self-effulgent. So it is not that he is manifest with the creation of the material body. On the other hand, it is true that material body develops only by the desire of the living entity. See, this is when again desire of the living entity. Is it what is there is a temporary desires, material desires. That's why he develops that material body. The evolution of material body is due to the desires of the living being, desires of the living being. According to the desires of the living being, the material body develops. So if our desire is only the spiritual, engaging in the spiritual activity, it doesn't require material body at all. Material body is temporary, whereas the devotional service is eternal. We are Bhrutya. Bhrutya Prasada Abhimukam. Likewise, the Lord he is sitting in the Vaikuntha Lokas. Bhrutya Prasada Abhimukam. Looking at his Bhrutyas, his servants, and he develops so much of love in them and happiness. So then they don't have to come to this material body temporary. So those are all eternal living entities. They don't come to this temporary thing. If one has got so much of wealth, he doesn't hanker for a few pennies or few pounds or something like that. So from the spirit soul, the material body comes into existence, generated from the living force. Since the living being is eternal, he exists just like the air within the body. This is analogy. Just like the air within the body. Air is within and without the body. Therefore, when the eternal external covering the material body is vanquished, the living spark, like the air within the body, continues to exist. This is Nainam Chindanti Sastrani, Nainam Dahati Pavakaha, Nachainam Kledayanchapo, Nashoshraiti Marutaha. Whatever the weapon, it cannot destroy. So it is always existing. And by the direction of the Lord, because He is the ultimate benefactor, the living entity is at once awarded the necessary spiritual body befitting his association with the Lord and the manner of Sarupya, Salokya, Saristi, and Samipya. These are all awarded for the devotees according to the relationship. So here Sarupya is the equal bodily feature. Salokya is the equal facility to live in the same planet with the Lord. Saristi, equal possession of opulence like the Lord, and Samipya is the equal association with the Lord, nearer to the Lord. Just like a Nanda, Sunanda, Prabala, Arhana. And so Lord is so kind that even if the devotee of the Lord cannot fulfill, then he will give in the what Lord will award next birth in the devotee's home. So he is given another chance in the next life by being awarded a birth in the family of a devotee or a rich man, so that without being engaged in the struggle for material existence, the devotee can finish remaining purification of his existence, and thus immediately after relinquishing the present body, go back home, back to Godhead. Neha vikramana sosti pratyavayo na vidyate. Swalpamupyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Just acquiring little bit credit in each and every life with the pious things. And so it will never ever be lost. It is always in the credit only. Once that balance is full, that is completely that I am the servant of the Supreme Lord. Sarva dharman parityajyamam ekam saranam raja. Until that point, one accumulates that credit, then so he attains that spiritual planet. So otherwise, if still there is balance, then Lord give opportunity to fulfill that one just by giving the chance in the next life by awarding birth in the family of a devotee or a pure ordered pious families. So in this connection detail information, so previously also Lord Brahma mentions that one, whoever is engaged in the devotional service, they do not have to go through different kinds of mental speculations or controlling the senses. So this process itself, it makes them to make complete perfection of human life. So that Jiva Goswami explained in the Bhagavad Sandarbha, Prabhupada is mentioning here. Okay, so that is from this purport, and Brahma is saying that whatever it is, either material or spiritual, when it is in connecting with the Supreme Lord, it is all auspicious. Just like a sky exists always within the body and outside the body, like that. Sasreshamapi vibhuhu bhagavan yato vasya bhav subhav vihitasya satah prasiddihi dehe sudatu vigame anuvisiriyamane vyomena tatra purusho na visiryatejaha na visiryatejaha. It is eternal. Living entity is eternal, devotional service is eternal, the process is eternal, and all happiness. This is Sataha Prasiddhihi. Okay, so that is from Srimad Bhagavatam. We shall quickly move into Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today it is a letter to Jai Govinda, April 18th, 1970, Los Angeles. Can I request other devotee to take a turn? It is small letter only. Asha Mataji, would you like to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. My dear Jai Govinda, please accept my blessings. I beg to acknowledge receipt of your letter dated 14th. Instead, and I am very happy to learn how both you and your good wife are determined to be more and more dependent on Krishna. That should be your mode of life, and that will advance you in success. Always think of Krishna, always hear of Krishna, and always speak of Krishna and nothing else. No idle talkings. Both your wife and yourself are Krishna conscious, so you will have good opportunity to be always engaged in Krishna consciousness. For the time being, there is no question of good India, but if we get a good place there and a nice branch there, then I may ask you to go there for some time. But your headquarters will always be in Germany. Both husband and wives learn how to work on the compressor machine because we have to print so many things in German language as we are doing here in English language. Do I need to carry on, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Yes, when you are out of your station, you can carry these deities. But so long as you are in Hamburg, you will have very little time to arrange separately for worship. When a householder is not in touch with the temple, then he can have separate worship at home. Regarding printing our literatures in Germany, in your last letter, you wrote to say that you could do it there. But if there is no question of your doing it, forget it. Regarding the composing machine, yes, I have heard that Brahmananda is helping you out in this connection. Regarding jobs for householders, there is no confusion. If your whole time is needed for Sankirtana party, there is no need of working in a karmi firm. Actually, all our devotees are supposed to be Brahmanas. A Brahmana's business is to preach to the glories of the Lord, to learn the essence of Vedic knowledge, Krishna consciousness, and to teach others of the same knowledge. And for living condition, whether they get in the form of contribution from others, they can they can live barely to keep the body and soul together and the balance spent for Krishna. My dear Sadanandini, I wanted you to have a very good husband, and I hope you are completely satisfied with the Jaya Govinda. Krishna has given you a very good husband, so be happy in Krishna consciousness. Hope this will meet you both in good health. Your ever well wisher, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Any takeaway points, Mataji?
Here, Srila Prabhupada writing to a newly-wed couple, and he's here. Prabhupada instruct them to think of Krishna and always hear about Krishna and speak about Krishna and stay in Krishna consciousness all the time. And he asked them to engage in Krishna consciousness, like both of them as a husband and wife. But and he prefer his headquarters will be always in Germany. And also he asked them to learn how to work on the compressor machine. So they have to print so many in Germany in German language. And Prabhupada instruct them to carry the deities because when they out of the town they can worship the lords. and Srila Prabhupada prefer them to do more Sankirtana party. So then he's happy with that. So then they don't need to work in karmic herb. So he prefer them to be brahmanas all the time. So they because brahmanas duties are to glorify the Lord and learn about the Vedic knowledge and teach others whatever they have learned and Krishna consciousness as a husband and wife. Also, he's happy for the Mataji because she has got a good husband. So Srila Prabhupada expect them to work as a husband and wife and learn and preach the Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna Prabhu, we could kindly explain.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so
Hare
much,
Krishna.
Mataji. Very beautifully summarized this one. Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Any other points, dear devotees, you wanted to add to this letter? Okay, so that is from Srila Prabhupada's letter. So suggesting one point is no idle talkings. So because then as soon as they get married, there are so many few people are coming and inviting them. So at the time they need to be very cautious as well. So this is prasanga majjaram pasham atmanaha kavayo viduhu. Sayeva sadhushu kruto moksha dvaram apavartam. So this is no idle talking. Prasanga majjaram pasham. And then other thing is Prabhupada is letting them so about the date, letting them know about the deities worship. Sometimes this is a very important point, whether we need to worship deities in the home or not. And if we have deities in the home, we cannot do other sites and we cannot leave them. So Prabhupada's statement here, when you are out of your station, you can carry these deities. And also when we are not, when householder is not in touch with the temple, then he can have the separate worship at home. So and so sometimes these two statements of Srila Prabhupada will fill the gaps the devotees may be having in their minds, deity worship. Okay, so this is the points that we can take it. And then later on Prabhupada is giving some information on the administering the temples and and that's all. SV and Sadanandani and Jay Govinda. So they are newly wedded couple and blessing. Prabhupada is blessing them and Prabhupada is very happy that they both are in the Krishna consciousness and preaching very nicely. So that is from Srila Prabhupada's letter. And so that is from the Prabhupada's letter's perspective. From the announcement side, so today evening we have got Teachings of Lord Chaitanya continued. Today is by Bipin Vihar Das Prabhuji at 8 p.m. Okay, and tomorrow it is preaching practice session with Gaurangi Mataji. Okay, that's all from updates point.
Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna.
And dear devotees, if you have got any other updates or you wanted to share anything, kindly share. Hare Krishna. Okay, if there are no updates, then we shall conclude and continue with further japa. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.